What's up, Facebook, YouTube, everybody? I know it's been a minute. Actually, it's been about 3 weeks since I did my last live. It's been a lot going on. Um, Trying to spend some time just reflecting on some things I'm in the process of creating. I'm trying to take enough time to think them through. And I will be um, I'll be developing another YouTube channel, and I won't get into the details of that yet because I would like it to just roll out and everybody see it without talking about it ahead of time. And so, before I get into today's topic, which is a big hot topic, everybody's talking about it, and I have my own little take on it that I wanted to do today. It's been on my mind for actually quite a long time, but due to the recent events, um, the recent events having to do with the Black beauty industry, specifically, and in general, African American and Asian community relations, it's become even a hotter topic. So, before I unpack all of that, I would like to start with a little bit of housekeeping. And what I would like you to do right now is please like um, and share this video on Facebook if you're watching it on Facebook, and make a comment and definitely like the video. Or you could not like the video, I guess, it's up to you. But those who know what Best BOB is all about are probably going to like it because it's all about uh, valuing our customers, that is, and valuing our Black owned businesses. So for those of you who don't know what Best BOB is about, it stands for Black owned businesses. So it's Best Black owned businesses. And this is the place where I highlight Black owned businesses that are out there working hard to stay the course in this economy that we are having to survive and thrive in. And I created this platform to give them information. If you are a Black owned business, if you're just starting, or if you're already established, this can be your source to come to for information, for support, for discussion about the topics that apply uniquely to Black owned businesses. So that's what Best BOB is all about. And we also like to put focus on valuing our customers, those dedicated, loyal customers who try to do the best they can to buy Black. And that's not always easy to do because some of us may live in areas where we're not near Black owned businesses and we may have to travel a little ways. And so we make that sacrifice so that we can support each other and keep this momentum of this movement going, because this is not a temporary drop in the pan as people thought. Just as COVID started up, a lot of people thought that, oh, people are going to just say they're buying Black for a while or make a little bit of effort and it's going to go away. It hasn't happened. And as long as I live, anything I can do to contribute to that is not going to stop. So, other housekeeping items. Of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, please share the video. Please hit that notification bell. It'll tell you when I'm going on live. So if you want to jump on when I'm on, you can catch that. That's if YouTube is not being nasty and not showing you the notifications, which they are known to do. Um, and hit the thumbs up button. You know, let those algorithms know that this is content that you like, so that it will be shown to other people who want to see this content. So I think that's all of the housekeeping stuff. What I want to do, first of all, before I get into the topic, which is I'm calling out the Black beauty industry and the Asian community due to the current events that have happened in the last couple of months. I'll also be doing a product review for some items that I received from a website called Afrikrea.com. So before I get into the nuts and bolts of the topic, I want to just kind of lay a foundation, because this conversation is not just about business, although it's a key part of it. And we can't really separate what's happening in the social and political and economic arena and how it affects our culture and our communities from just operating a business. It's like we can't separate all the other surrounding factors that impact our ability to make money. And there are some folks who are purposely making it hard for us to do that. So I want to lay a foundation. I have a few video clips that I'm going to show. And the first part of this that I want to focus on is what's happening in the Asian community and what's happening in the business community in terms of Black owned businesses and how those two collide. The first video I'm going to show you, let's see. And before I do this, let me make a disclaimer too. Any statements that I'm going to make in this video about a particular group, whether it be Black beauty, the Black beauty industry, or Asian community, or Black people in general. I'm not saying every Black person. I'm not saying every Asian. So let me just get that disclaimer out of the way. Um, if it don't apply, then let it fly, as the saying goes. Okay, so let's lay this foundation. I'm gonna start with this first clip, and this is the political climate. Okay, this is kind of sets the stage for everything else, and we have to start looking deeper into what we see reported in the media when it comes to propaganda, because this whole thing about Asian people calling Black people out to say, you all need to speak out against the attacks on Asians, that is pure propaganda. It is being picked up by mainstream news and carried all the way across the board. They're interviewing different people, isolated situations where there were Black people who were mentally ill or homeless or something, that had some kind of physical altercation with an Asian person. So they're just taking that and blowing it up. And despite all the other racial groups who have had massive attacks on the Asian community, they want, as usual, Black people to be the face of this dastardly deed. So let's start with the first video here. So this is what This is what they're all passing off as a huge issue between the two communities.
1992. We're showing the Korean man shooting 1992, not 2021. Okay? He wasn't even shooting at black.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I had it queued to where I wanted it.
If they have never treated us right, they haven't practiced. Okay. Previous video. Last time. You can do. And those of you black people who are in those areas, Washington, D.C., some of you who's right there, you need to file a lawsuit. You need to file a lawsuit.
Our communities are not reporting these incidences. We don't want to cause.
Sorry, I need to get this from the beginning.
Why? But I want to show you what ABC.
This is ABC News.
We caught this clip, and I want you to watch it, and I want you to tell me what you really think when you see what they put together. Let's go ahead and roll a clip.
In what ways have blacks been pitted against Asians?
We need the black community to realize that that black people are hurting Asians, and they need to speak out in their own community.
Our communities are not reporting these incidences. We don't want to cause more trouble, more attention to our community.
It strikes me that this is the Asian equivalent of the talk that African-American parents often have to have with their children.
Now, the first issue that I had.
Okay. Sorry about that. I lost my cue spot. The man said, if you listen to that, the man who was standing next to the Asian lady, he said black people need to stop hurting Asians. And I want you to keep that in mind as I show you the next video clips, because you're going to see the flip side of what hurting a community looks like. And it's being done to us. So I'm just confused by this. I mean, I'm not confused in the sense that I know that it's propaganda, but they aren't even making any sense even in trying to do the propaganda, because it's clear that one side, in terms of being attacked, which would be something that we are more susceptible, or I shouldn't say susceptible, that we experience more so than anyone else in terms of a particular racial group. So how is it that you think that you're telling Black people as a group, an entire group, that they need to speak out and come out on behalf of Asian Americans, and they need to stop hurting Asians? Like, really? I really want to curse right now, but I ain't gonna do it, because I really just wanted to lay the foundation for that, because there's a whole lot that I could say just on that video clip. And then there was a part also at the end of that clip too, where the lady said, the newscaster said to the person she was interviewing, "Oh, that sounds like the talk that Black people have to have with their children." So they're trying to make it seem like the same exact thing that we've experienced that's been perpetrated against us, that now the Asians are experiencing the same thing from us. It is such a big ass farce. Okay, I cursed. Okay, yes, a big ass farce. And I'm just tired. I'm tired of, of seeing this repeatedly over and over and over again. It's been going on for many, many years, as far as I can remember. If we go back to 1992, and I'm sure you can go back even farther than that. But the Los Angeles riots, involved quite a bit of tension and exchange, gunfire exchange between Black people and Asian Americans. Now, if you're Asian and you just happen to be watching this live, or you play the video back on the replay, I am going to take a few minutes on this. I changed my mind. I want to just talk to you, okay, in particular, so that you may gain some inch of understanding of where we are coming from, although it is not our job to explain it. But I'm just going to tell you personally, when I was living in Los Angeles, I've had some experiences. When I go into a store where the owner is an Asian American or Korean or a Chinese or whatever it may be, I'm talking about my personal experience of being followed, of being watched the whole time that I'm in the store. One time I went to an ATM and there were a few people standing in line doing their little transactions, and the lady in front of me was Asian, and I was next in line after her, but I needed to get one of those envelopes. That was way back in the day when you had to, I don't even know if they have those envelopes now, but they had the envelopes outside in the little slot, and you take the envelope, put your deposit in there, and slide it into the machine. So she was standing in front of the slot where the envelopes were stacked. And I said, "Excuse me, I need to get an envelope." One time, she didn't say anything. Second time, "Excuse me, I need to get an envelope." She didn't say anything. So by this time, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So the first time, maybe she didn't hear me. The second time, I don't know. I think she's ignoring me. I'm going to try one more time. "Excuse me, I need to get an envelope." She still didn't say anything. Now, I was convinced that she was ignoring me on purpose. So I just leaned around her, got the envelope that I needed, put my little deposit in there, and continued waiting in line for my turn to do my transaction. So when she finished her transaction, as she walked off, she turned around in a real snippy kind of way, and she goes, "That's why you people need to go back to where you came from." And I can't tell you what I said to her then. I can't repeat the words that I said to her. Where I came from, and during that time, I think some Asian Americans, particularly Korean Americans, weren't very many of them in this country. And now you're just coming here on this land where I was born and telling me to go back where I came from. See, this is what the Asian community needs to get a grip on. Like, really, you need to get real about what it is that your community does, and go and talk to your community and tell them to get it together. How about that? Instead of you telling us to talk to our community, how about you go and talk to yours and tell them to get it together and put them in line and get them straight, because they got it wrong. And by you not saying anything to them, you're just contributing to it. You got it wrong too. So I've had these experiences. I have also worked in corporate jobs where there were Korean Americans who worked alongside me. You know, they were not my supervisors. They were not in charge of my job duties, you know, but they spoke to me in a very condescending way. and even brought up conversations about Africa, that Black people need to go to Africa or something. It wasn't very blatant, it was a little subtle, but we pick up on it because we've gotten it every which way you could think of. We've gotten it blatant, subtle, sneaky, all in our personal space, following us. So, on another note, I'm going to say that I have had a couple of positive experiences too, because I used to sell jewelry and I used to make jewelry. And there were some Asian American merchants who did purchase merchandise from me. So I'm not going to say that every experience I've had was negative, but the number of experiences that I had that were negative outweigh the positive for sure. Because I know in my mind and my soul and my spirit that I am not welcomed in your environment. That's what I know for sure. And on that note, that is the foundation that I am laying. It is laid. And when I think about our Black-owned businesses in the beauty industry, we need to be looking at what is happening in the political arena. Because that first video, that video clip that I just showed you, that is telling you what is happening. So it's all set up on different fronts, politically, socially, economically. And we have to wake up. I know it's like a pain in the butt because you got to always kind of watch your back and be on your toes and look for this and look for that. But we have to do it so that we have a sense about what's coming at us and not get so complacent and get so comfortable because life is kind of good or what have you. You may feel like things are happening for you, but we got to get out of that individualism. That individualistic thinking is where we are continuing to be somewhat lost as a group, and it keeps us from getting on code. It keeps us from getting on code and staying on code. Okay? So when we start seeing this propaganda and these messages that are being spread across the media, everywhere you look, when you know that it's not true, because did they show us a bunch of attacks? Did they show us a bunch of attacks on the Asian community by Black people? Where are they? Where the receipts at? So the very fact that you are in the Black beauty industry means that you're a target. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. In the way you run your business and strategize in your business, you're going to have to be thinking about what's coming at you, what's coming towards you, because that's all it is. It's about keeping certain people certain people comfortable in the social construct and certain people not so comfortable. So moving on into what I would call, more of the social economic aspect of the foundation that we just set for the political climate. Let's see what a person who Okay, a person who is patronizing an Asian American owned beauty supply. Like, this stuff is still going on. I mean, for the last couple of years, I know you guys saw all those videos where Black women were being attacked in Asian salons. And it's like a song that plays on the radio 1,000 times a day, and you get so tired of it, but you almost get desensitized, or either you like it, but you start singing it, but you don't realize because you've just been listening to it so many times. It's kind of like that, the way that those videos kept popping up and cropping up, and Black women were being locked inside of um, beauty's nail salons and the like. And I know you guys remember that, right? So here is a video that a patron, actually the patron is, this is a university in Louisiana where this salon is located near. And I think it might be a predominantly Black neighborhood. So this beauty supply probably has maybe 80% of that neighborhood being Black, is probably 80% of their, I'm sorry, I'm trying to say that being it's a Black area, a huge percentage of their business is probably coming from that. So let's check out this video. And I want to say shout out to African Diaspora News Channel, because I've been thinking about these topics for quite a while from different things I've been seeing in the news. And I appreciate that they already covered this stuff. So it allowed me to kind of pinpoint the areas that I wanted to talk about. So this sister, she's in this beauty supply, and she wants to purchase some things, and she turns on her camera and decides to share her experience.
So I am currently in a beauty supply store in Norwood, by Xavier University, and I have somebody following me so closely. Like every time I turn, he turned. Like it was real ridiculous. Right? A staff member approached me like, "You okay?" Because they saw the stuff going on. So I politely told them when I came to the front how I felt as a patron of this store. Like I was being intimidated because I was Black, and I did not need to be followed because I'm not going to steal. The gentleman here proceeds to then get smart with me, start talking in whatever Korean or whatever language he speaks, and start yelling. So then I start getting loud too. Like, look, no, you need to understand. You guys are minorities as well, and it's wrong to treat people like that. We patronize them, and then they treat us with disrespect. If they got their phones on me, I don't care about none of that. They threaten to call the police on me. But what they need to understand is, like I told them, call the police because I have a right to express how I feel as a patron of this store. I said that you also should probably, let's do this together, sis. I said that you all should probably understand that how customers feel when you all are being rude.
For me in this video, I'm not bothered or even really upset with the business owners.
Okay. Now that was kind of taking my breath away because she was breathing real hard. And I mean, I got the sense that she was, when she said she was intimidated, I think she was probably in fear of some, at some level, and rightfully so, because the person is not only following her around, but then getting aggressive, getting out of pocket with her. And I would imagine that that's when she turned the camera on, because she probably said, "Oh, I need to document this, just to make sure that if something happens, she would have it on camera." And so I want to say that I appreciate her doing that. Oh gosh, these things on my phone. I appreciate her doing that. And because had she not taken the video, I wouldn't be able to see it, and people wouldn't be able to see it, so that we could know that this is going on and, you know, be able to comment on it. But I just, when she said we are trying to patronize you, it's like she's trying to convince them to act the right way, to do the right thing. That's the part I kind of have a problem with, because I need sisters to just, you know, we are going to have to think of other ways. There has to be another way, you know, and I appreciate the sister doing the video. Again, I cannot emphasize that enough, but I feel like she should have just left and never ever let them see her like coming with her money. Don't beg people to give them your money. You know, that's part of the problem, because if we're not in there, then they can't do this shit, right? The stories I told you guys about my experience was a long time ago, because you didn't have to tell me twice. No, I haven't been in any kind of establishment like that in a really long time, for that very reason. Because hey, I don't have to worry about somebody following me if I'm not in their store. I don't have to worry about making videos because I'm scared of somebody excuse me, I'm afraid that somebody's trying to intimidate me or threaten me. I don't have to worry about that if I'm not in your store. So we're going to have to get creative and start thinking outside the box as to how we're going to patronize Black-owned businesses or order our items online. I think that's a good way to start, because even if you ultimately don't know who owns the business when you order it online, if it's not clearly Black-owned, I think ordering online is a good transitional point to get away from walking into the store itself, because then you're avoiding those situations happening that way as well. And then just do that until you find the businesses that are close enough to you that are Black owned, and you can take a little more time to research that, research it online, see what's Black owned in the digital space. Or it might be the next town over. You might need to drive an extra 15-20 minutes, but isn't that worth it? And plus you're circulating Black dollars. Like, why bother with the nonsense? So as you can see, we've laid the political foundation. Now we're looking at the social aspect and the economic aspect, where a customer, being a Black woman, walking into a store, spending her money in an environment that does not welcome her, does not want her there. They want her money, but they don't they don't like her because she's gonna steal. Okay, they're gonna racially profile you and take your money. That's the process. So I think that speaks for itself, you know. And if you can't freely walk into a store and just, as a customer, pick out items, and even if you don't buy anything, so let's take the actual dollar out of the picture. Don't you want to feel free as hell to just walk into a place and look and see what they have? And if they don't have it, you know, you're browsing to see if it's exactly what you need, especially when it comes to hair, items, because some of us, we have different texture hair. We, want a certain color. We want a certain type of product. We don't want something to harm our like damage our hair. It's like we have to really look at certain products. We have to look at them. We can't be expected to walk in a store and look at an item and say, okay, I'm gonna buy this, and immediately take it off the shelf and take it to the counter, because God forbid, I better hurry up and make this damn purchase before they come over here and start following me. That's asinine. It's ridiculous. Come on. Get on code. That's getting on code. When you don't put yourself in that position, or you minimize it as much as you humanly can. Oh, I'm like, so I want to be able to walk in the store and look around and leave without anybody following me. That's what I want. And if that's what y'all who you are. I don't have to spell out. If that's what y'all want to do, if that's your protocol or your practice, have at it. But you don't need our money. And don't be coming up with this bull crap about you're being discriminated because we won't buy from you, because you do the same thing. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You can't have your cake and eat it too, right? Okay, so as a person wanting to spend their money for beauty supplies, for Black hair products, Black hair accessories, okay? Anything that has to do with us and how we beautify ourselves. You're gonna need to get creative and make some sacrifices and patronize the Black-owned businesses. It's just that simple. It's going to take you a little while. It's going to take a little effort, but you'll do it if you just start. Please, I'm begging. If I could get down on my knees and still be on camera, I would do it, because, I mean, really, I'm so tired of seeing these same little funky clips with people begging to give somebody their money. It's almost you might as well be begging. Okay, so the next clip I have is, this is for, this is, again, we're building on a story here. So as far as running a business now, so you're going to hear from a woman who is a Black-owned, this is a Black-owned beauty supply. And as you know, or you may not know, if you were checking out videos, or if you've spent any amount of time online in the last year or so, particularly when COVID cropped up, a lot of Black business, Black beauty supply stores were born. But they're having a struggle too, because of this same strategic attack that is being put on all these different fronts, socially, economically, politically, all the way across the board. We have to stay awake, everybody. Stay awake. Wake up. So they're making it hard for the Black business owners who are running beauty supply stores. So I'm going to find this video here, and so you can listen to what she has to say.
Oh, that clip.
Personally don't feel like they actually set up shop. If you would put your open a beauty supply store in your community in August, are typically Korean Americans owned beauty supply stores frequented by African Americans in these urban neighborhoods. I think that some of us are intimidated. Hair care is a billion-dollar industry. Report shows that African Americans spent $54 million on ethnic hair and beauty products alone. Yet Fletcher told Atlanta Black Star that she and many other Black beauty supply owners have issues with getting products on their shelves from distributors who don't want to do business with them. And then I even met a guy who actually has a large store in Georgia where he basically had to find him another face, shall I say, just so he could get the account. Korean Americans have dominated the Black hair care industry for decades, controlling the manufacturing and the distribution, according to Shop Black. Very hard because a lot of them, either they wasn't responding or they just refused just to give you the accounts altogether. Some of them were saying that, your application wasn't complete, when I know good well that I did everything that I was supposed to. Fletcher says one of the hardest products to get is virgin extensions, which also happens to be the moneymaker. So where is this hair coming from? China. There's only two sources that actually manufactures hair. You got India, and China is buying from India as well. And then you got China. So there is no other that I know of that actually is manufacturing.
And Fletcher added that most of these distributors work with Asian-owned beauty supply stores, continuing to close the gap on Blacks having the opportunity to get into an industry that has prospered off of the support of Black customers.
But they make the ordering process so difficult. And when I want certain products, oh no, we don't have it. When I know you do have it, you just want to give me what you want me to have and not be able to supply me with what's in demand.
But there's history behind the tension. Korean Americans started selling wigs in 1960.
Okay, the plot thickens, people. I used to be a manicurist, and my mom had a beauty salon in Los Angeles for about 10 years. I've worked with beauty salon owners, and so I have kind of a soft spot in my heart for the industry as a whole because of that. And it was different back then. It wasn't, I think I would say that, this was like maybe 25 or so years ago. The presence of the Korean American community in Black hair or Black products industry, I should say, it wasn't. I think that it had maybe sort of just started right around that time. Maybe it just wasn't as prevalent, and I think it was just people understood that like you're over here on this corner, the other person is over there on that corner, and everybody kind of mind their own business for the most part. It wasn't quite this kind of tension that I'm seeing happening right now. But a few points I want to make about what I heard in that last video clip. First of all, the money that is spent in the beauty industry. It's $1 billion industry. And they also said that African Americans spend $54 million. I think that's per year. Is that per year? At any rate, the percentage, that's a high percentage for the whole industry. And I think those numbers are probably very conservative. I think they're very low. But what comes to mind about that is how can we start claiming more of the market, that we are the ones who spend a great proportion of the money, a big huge piece of the pie that we spend. It's like we should be thinking more strategically in a way. If I were still in the business, I would be happy to start some type of coalition or something like that. My focus really is on consulting and trying to produce teaching materials and training materials and things of that nature. That's where um, my endeavors are heading. But I want to encourage anyone's going into beauty supply business. If you are the nail techs, I've seen so much beautiful work on social media, like Instagram in particular and Facebook. Shout out to Tasha Bostic. She's one of my Facebook friends. Lovely um, uh, lovely nails that she does. It's like all these decorations and pretty. I don't even know what they call it now. I think it's the gel product that they use, and they put these beautiful designs and colors on it. So I love um, Tasha's work that she posts on Facebook. And I've seen Instagram with these, the nails with the rhinestones and all the beautiful bedazzling that they do on it. Like, it's like really expensive. Like, you could really, really develop a successful career and or business doing this work. It's just like so beautiful. It's very interesting how much talent that I've seen out there. So if you're doing that, if you're selling eyelashes, if you have a beauty salon, if you have a nail salon, or if you're starting any of those type of salons, I'm going to just say that you're going to need to start to think about marketing. You're going to need, I'm sorry, not marketing. You're going to need to have a marketing plan where you come together as a group and bring your resources together and uh, get into the manufacturing side of things. So eyelashes, for instance, it's gonna require some research. You can go out there and find some equipment that you can produce those on. Some of them are done by hand, from what I understand, but I'm pretty sure there are some type of equipment that can be used, some type of machine that can be used to produce eyelashes. But this is where we got to get creative. This is where you got to start thinking out of the box, because as long as you rely on distribution and manufacturing coming from elsewhere, then you're subject to experience what that beauty supply owner was talking about in the last video clip that I just showed. So um, beauty salon owners get with other beauty salon owners. Start coming up with a plan to manufacture wigs on a more massive scale. Nail salon owners start looking at these Instagram nail techs and the kind of products that they're putting out, and come up with new products, come up with new line of nail polish. And when I say come up with it, I'm saying make it. Manufacturing and distribution, that needs to be the main focus. And then, of course, retail, because you could sell it yourself too, but then that's all it's all a matter of finding the right sources And if you're going to source something out, then you can have someone else do it, but you need to be in control. You need to have control of your own product, because there are, with the natural hair care boom that has happened in the Black community in the last several years, that took the non-Black controlling forces down a peg or two. Don't you think that if you continue on the path of creating more control of manufacturing and distributing and doing your own retail, or just distribute to a retailer and they can sell it, it's all a matter of how you want to put it all together. But the most important thing right now, what I can see in the beauty industry, is manufacturing for starters. And then you can start moving into looking into distribution, but they pretty much go hand in hand, because it looks like the companies who do the most manufacturing are the ones who have the relationships with the distributors, or maybe they are also distributors, and it's like a network of of good old boys or whatever, for lack of a better word, but you know what I mean, that they're all working together to maintain what? Control. So this is really interesting in terms of how do we get to this place where we know that we need to do these things? Because I'm not saying anything new that I've never heard before. I'm sure you've heard some of these things before. But I think the way that we got to this place where we still are having to repeat it and we're still having to focus on it, because it's just not going to go away until we do enough work to make other people understand that we are very serious about what it is that we need in our communities. It's not going to change until we do that. So the reason why we are here is because there's still more work to be done. Okay, right? That means it's not over. It's not like, oh, okay, we did that back in the 60s or the 70s or the 80s. No, it's not over, because there are certain forces that are always working behind the scenes, and that eventually will creep up and try to sabotage, try to destroy, try to take away, try to diminish, try to discount what Black people do. And we just trying to mind our Black owned business, right? So anyway, I think that is pretty much summing it up for me today. I have a terrible headache. And so I am really trying to convey what I'm thinking right now, but it is very challenging. Let me tell you. Okay, so last but not least, I want to do my product review. The product review I'm doing today is a couple of items that I'm wearing that I got from a company called Afrikrea.com. It's spelled AFRIKREA.com, Afrikrea.com. And they have a lot of stuff. It's like a big, huge website. Well, they have a huge selection. And you can select any merchant. It's kind of like Etsy, I guess, kind of like a cross between Etsy and Amazon, but only Afrocentric items. Um, so if you haven't heard of them, I definitely recommend you check out their website. And if you've never seen my product review before, what I do is, these are the items, by the way. So these are the earrings that I got. I really love this. And this is the necklace. If you can't, maybe you can't see the whole thing. This is the necklace. It has a little fringe on the end. Isn't that luscious? I love it. These are little tiny beads. Little tiny beads that are made by a tribe called the Maasai tribe in Africa. And I love the beautiful patterns that they make. I'm going to take this off so you can see it. Isn't that gorgeous? I love, love, love it. And when I first got it, I thought, okay, is this thing going to be uncomfortable on my neck? And the only thing is, it has a hook. It's not a big problem, but I have lotion on my hands, so it's like really slippery. I can tell I still have oil on my hands, so I can't get that hook back on. But it's not difficult to hook it. And it still lays very comfortable as well. Let me see. Let's just see if we can do it this way. So yeah, Afrikrea, they have a lot of merchants, different merchants with different type of items. They have dresses, shoes, clothes, purses, jewelry. They even have wigs. They have fabric too, so you can make your own stuff. They have African wax fabrics. So that's what I love about their site, because they have such a huge variety of items. And I'm going to go ahead and give my review today. I use a scale from 1 to 5 to rate the products that I review. And the things that I rate them on are product quality, price, customer service, and shipping. The quality of the product is wonderful, perfect. The price, I'm going to say a little more pricey than what, I would prefer. But if I had to compare the price to the quality, I would say that the price is justified. So I think that's fair to say. Let's see, customer service. Well, let me go back to the shipping. So the shipping time was a little bit long. And, I think it was coming from either Ghana or maybe Liberia. So kind of expect that to be somewhat of a long shipping time. Now, the customer service part, that's when I had a little kind of sort of hiccup there. And what happened was, I ordered a couple of other pairs of earrings. Like I have some other ones here as well that I really like. So I didn't receive one of the pairs that I ordered. And this is another pair I ordered. The black. I just love the way the Maasai tribe, how they design, you can see how they think of their designs by the shapes and where they put the color, how they apply color. I love it. And it's not like perfectly the same, it's just like handcrafted, luscious, beautiful African hands creating beautiful jewelry. So I was missing an item, and I was waiting for it and waiting for it. It was like my favorite one that I was really highly anticipating, and it never came. And I sent an email. I sent like 3 times I sent an email. Then I put a comment on Facebook. That's when I got the response. And I haven't, they said, okay, give us your information and we'll look into it. So I haven't done that yet. So I give them credit for responding. I just felt like it took too long because I didn't get any response to the email. And I don't know where the product went. And also, I don't know if it's the merchant, because remember, as I said, Afrikrea has different merchants. On, like, I bought this from a different merchant, from this, like these earrings are from a different merchant, but they're all on the Afrikrea website. So I can't really say that I'm rating Afrikrea in that respect in terms of um, taking so long or just not receiving that one pair of earrings. It really is something I should charge to that particular vendor that's on their website. However, Afrikrea is the brand that's in front of everything. So that's what you're going to base it on. So from 1 to 5, on the scale of 1 to 5, I'm going to say I'll give them a 4, because I will continue to buy from them. I might not buy from that same merchant again, just because I didn't receive one of my pieces. So that's pretty much it. You know, I love what they do. I got my eyes on a lot of different pieces that I would like to get from them. And that's the end of my product review. So before I go, let me remind you, if you would like to have your product reviewed on Best BOB, I will be happy to do that. I would like to see the products first, so you can send me an email with a link to your website. The email address is thebestbobbiz@gmail.com. That's spelled THEBOB. I'm sorry, let me repeat that. It's spelled THEBESTBOBBIZ@gmail.com. That's thebestbobbiz@gmail.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can look in the description section where I have left my email address there. And please share, like, hit the notification bell, hit the thumbs up. You know, let everybody know that you like this content, and I'll be back with more in the near future. And I'm coming back with that new channel as well, that I'll just let you guys wonder what that is. Okay, so till next time, have a wonderful life.